welcome back. Just a quick reminder, you can check out our Facebook page, Chit Chat. Click the like button, become part of our family today. And, we can communicate on the Facebook page. Let me know what segments you enjoy. You can also let me know if you'd like to see a specific topic discussed on the program, or even, someone featured on the program. I can make that work for you. I could try my best. Well, I have with me marine biologist Christine Finney, and she is here to chat about the lionfish. Now, the lionfish, as I mentioned before, is really reaping havoc on lots of beautiful coral reefs, not just in the Atlantic, but also right here in Grenada. And it's a very scary situation right now, because what they do essentially is, and correct me, Christine, they eat a lot of the reef fish, and then there goes the coral reefs. And you get a close shot of, have you given him a name?
No, unfortunately, this poor little fellow was only caught this morning.
And he's so gorgeous.
They're very beautiful, which is actually part of them, probably where they came from.
Yeah.
The best idea is that they were an aquarium fish.
Right.
In the States. And they know for sure that they did invade the Caribbean, so to speak, through Florida. Mm-hmm. Their first reported releases were in the 80s, but they didn't become a problem until around 2000.
Right.
Because it took a lot of different releases to build up enough base for them to catch.
Right.
But it really is because they're so beautiful that people wanted them in their aquariums. They sell for a lot of money in the States.
I wouldn't doubt.
As an aquarium fish, but they were importing them from the Pacific. Mm-hmm. And because they would eat everything out of the tank, they would go, I don't want him anymore because he's killing everybody else. Right. So they would release them. That's one theory. Well, there are a couple reported releases from big aquariums in Biscayne Bay. There was a hurricane and it released some of those by accident. And there was some of that as well. But really, it's because they're so pretty, I think, that they became a problem.
Know. So there's this drive going on now to just sensitize the public, the nation, about the lionfish. And tell us why this is causing such a big problem, what we can do, the part we can play.
Excellent. Yeah, we... The fish itself, I mean, he's just doing what he does, but he's doing it very well. For all the kids in school, and if you remember your biology class, you would be remembering your Darwin's Law and the things that an organism needs to do really well. Well, the lionfish just does all of that really well.
Yeah.
They reproduce really quickly. They reproduce a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They eat a lot.
20,000?
10 or 20,000 eggs up to every 3 or 4 days.
Oh, my gosh.
So the fish we have here in this bowl, he's actually a bit big for the bowl, but he's just a baby. I mean, we're getting lots of 4 to 8 inch ones at the moment, but they get up to 18 inches in size.
Wow.
And like a full-size fish is a nice size snapper kind of hogfish size when they're full size. But they eat everything. It has been reported that they can eat up to half their body weight at a time. Where if you think human-wise, if we could do that, it would be a completely different story for how we operated. But they can eat a lot, and they do that often.
Yeah.
And they eat a lot of things whole. So when the scientists open them up and at the universities and things, they find whole little baby lobsters and little baby chromis and parrotfish and snappers, and they eat juveniles of lots of things that we need, that our reef needs. So they cause problems because they're very, very much not picky.
Yeah.
They'll eat as much as they can, as often as they can.
And another interesting fact, Christine, sorry to cut you there.
No problem.
We can even consume them because, understand, they're not poisonous, but
venomous.
They're venomous,
if you want to be particular on the words, which means they do have spines.
Right.
And the spines can sting, and the sting will hurt. I won't lie to anybody about that. It will hurt. But unless you're particularly allergic to it, like some people with bees or some people with shellfish, it's not fatal. It'll just be painful, and it can be treated. But there's nothing in the flesh of the fish that is a problem.
Right.
So it's really only the people that are catching them or the people that are handling them when they're being cleaned that have anything to be careful of. But once it's a cleaned fish, it's a lovely piece of white fish meat, a lot like a snapper, or more recently someone compared it to a hogfish for me, which some of the fishermen will associate with.
Right.
But they're a very nice, very flexible meat, and you can do a lot with it. We do have some restaurants that are interested, which is exciting. Now it's just getting the logistics of getting the fishermen catching enough to provide enough for people to serve.
Because this guy here, let's just call him Bob. You caught Bob yesterday?
This morning.
This morning?
This morning. He's fresh out of the sea, which is why I think he's a little bit perturbed at the moment.
Yeah, he's like, what?
He's upside down, he's upside up, he's a little thrown off.
Yeah.
But he came up this morning. We caught 6 of them this morning.
Wow.
Just on a little reef about a kilometre off of Grand Anse. The others have been prepared for lunch. But it is what we're trying to promote.
Right.
I mean, I'm not very much into the killing side myself, but because I understand why.
Yeah.
We are carrying little spears, approved spears by fisheries every day. For the culling, it's a nicer word than killing, but for the collection of.
Yes.
And then they make we've gotten to the point now where between our staff and people that are around, they come and ask because they know that we have them on a daily basis.
Right.
And they realize that they're good. And they're good to cook, they're good to eat. And we're just trying to get the awareness out so people are actually out there looking for them as opposed to passing them by and not collecting them.
Right.
Because it can make a huge difference. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to really tell until next year or the year after. But we're going to see a decline in our snappers, in our groupers, in our parrotfish. Because they're eating all the babies.
Oh, gosh.
But there will be a lag between when they're doing all their eating and when we actually see the difference. So it's that lag period we're trying to raise the awareness through that. So we can kind of hopefully help stunt it a little bit so we don't get too put off, because we actually are their only predator in Grenada.
I was just about to say, because I'm looking at the information on the sidelines that we've got on screen right now, and yes, they're greedy reef predators. They reproduce quickly and often. They have no natural predator in Grenada,
and that is the biggest.
That is
back to the Darwin's law. They reproduce fast, they eat a lot, and there's nothing eating them
really
off.
Eating, yeah.
So I mean, once they've been speared, once they've been killed, there's lots of things. The eels and the different things will come and eat them, but they just don't take them on. They don't know them. They don't recognize them as prey. They're a very different looking fish, very pretty, but they're very different looking, and they're very arrogant, actually.
Yeah.
If you give a fish a characteristic,
yeah,
they stick out their fins and they don't move when people come by, where the other fish will kind of run away. These guys put out their feathering and they're like, here I am and I'm the best. And they're a very arrogant, beautiful little fish, actually.
They're gorgeous. So we're urging, just to reiterate, so we want people to, well, specifically the fisher folk to catch these guys here.
Hopefully. If they have any questions about techniques or even if they need to know what kind of spears are best to use, we can help provide that information. Fisheries can help provide that information. And actually, I'm working with a few NGOs at the moment, including Coral Reef Alliance, who had some funding through the U.S. State Department. And it helps pay for some of the marketing materials.
Right.
But we're also bringing in a set of the approved spears for people that have permits. So if we have some fishermen that have the permits to spear and they're interested, we have some funding available to help make the proper spears available for them.
Right.
And potentially even the gloves and all the different things they would need. So there is help out there. It's just a matter of knowing to come and ask, and hopefully people do take an interest, because it's important. It is.
It's very important. And again, viewers, if you're wondering, why we have this fish on set, it's a lionfish. I have Christine Finney with me. She's a marine biologist, and essentially this species is eating, you heard Christine mention, they're eating every and anything that exists under the water, well, except the bigger guys like sharks and stuff, but they really are reaping havoc and causing serious, for us to think carefully about what we can do to help save the coral reefs. Not just here, because I was looking at an image online last night, and Bob and all his friends, they're all over the entire Caribbean. They're all over the place.
They've taken over in the Northern Caribbean about the year 2000. And you can find hundreds and hundreds. I was reading up some extra facts last night for fun facts. And in the Pacific, they find them in their natural habitats in densities of somewhere between 25 and 35 per hectare of reef.
Wow.
But in the Bahamas, they found them up to 350 per hectare. So we were joking outside just now that they just really love the Caribbean. They got to the Caribbean and they're like, it's just time to lime, and it's just time to fet, and they're having a blast. They're reproducing like crazy.
Oh my gosh.
And if I could actually, this is just one of my little, from their artistic perspective, I think they would make a great carnival costume.
I was looking at it.
But I'm not a carnival costume person. But there is actually a costume in Trinidad.
Yeah,
I've seen a clip once, and it's beautiful with all the feathering and if there are any artists out there, I'm just saying that I think that this would make a beautiful theme.
We'll have a nice lionfish.
And it'd be very easy because you could give the men a little plastic spear and they can hunt the ladies in their feathering. And I just think it would be
good to go.
Good awareness from that side. But yeah, no, they're causing problems, and unfortunately they're not ever going to go away. So it's only going to get worse, but it's just trying to help control what we can.
Control is the essential thing. And also, viewers, again, it's fine. You can eat them. You can prepare them. And even that, Christine, I'm sure people can probably read up information online as to how they can prepare them. You know,
there's the recipe books and there's loads. And if people need information there, I can help find.
Right.
We have a Facebook page, Grenada Lionfish, and there are recipes on there.
Good.
We're reporting how many and where we're finding them in sizes, and just trying to help encourage. And so if people are interested, the Grenada Lionfish page is a good place just to get some updates. And then really from there, if you get the opportunity, I hope that we are brave enough to have a try.
Yeah.
Because it's a beautiful, yummy little fish. And I just hope we're saying yes instead of no thanks.
I know. And one more thing, would you advise that people can, in the general public's way of helping to control this, can they even catch them for their aquariums at their homes?
Yeah, you could. I would, if you haven't dealt with them before, I would recommend asking for some help.
Right.
Because the stings can be quite painful.
Right.
You just don't want to spoil the fun by getting stuck by accident. On that same note, just as a general information for people, if you do get stung, you can always go see your doctor. There's nothing wrong with that, obviously, but warm water, the venom that they have in them is warm water, will break down in warm water. So just, boil some water and mix it with some, so you don't burn yourself, but as warm as you can handle.
Right.
The warm water will help dissipate. And just help with that. But if you are interested in catching them, I don't want to say no to anybody, but just be careful and ask a question.
Good. Excellent. Well, Christine, thanks so much for stopping by.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for bringing Bob this morning.
So he says you're welcome as well.
I'm sure, because you probably could speak fish language, right? Because that's.
I can tell you he's not very happy, actually. But
no, I know, and I'm not surprised.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Thanks for the information, and don't forget, you can check out the Facebook page. It's, remind me again,
Grenada Lionfish.
Grenada Lionfish. Find out all you can about this species. Beautiful, but again, it is creating some really intense problems for our coral reefs, not just here, but globally. So thanks again, Christine, for stopping by. Folks, we'll be right back.